Borussia Dortmund's latest signing, Haaland, is out of this world. How many goals will he score this weekend? We'll take a little look. Next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video. This time we're looking at matchday number 20 out in Bundesliga, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button and keep bang up to date with all things Bundesliga related, Blackburn Rovers related, world football related. We're all here under Warowski. That's right, Haaland ripping it up now. He's going to be chasing the pack for top goal scorers, and he's only been here 2 flipping games. I think if he gets a couple goals this weekend, he'll be in the top 10 of goal scorers already. Anyway, folks, let's get going. Take a little look at all the bits and pieces, boys, as we enter matchday. What did I say? Is it 20? Matchday 20 out in the Bundesliga. So let's get going, folks, and take a little look at the criteria that I judge both you and I on. If you get 0 to 3, you're in the shit-faced club. If you're in the 4 to 5, you're in the top banana. No, you're not. You're in the straight-faced gang. 6+, you're in the top banana. So let's have a little look at all the bits and pieces, boys. So Borussia Dortmund put 5. That's right, 5 past Köln. I'm with a 3-0 win. Haaland on the score sheet. Absolutely running riot at the moment. Will he get a start against, who have they got next? They've got Leverkusen. Difficult game, that one. 3-0 for me, so not too shabby. Frankfurt did beat Leipzig 2-0. I went with a 2-2 draw on this one, so not too shabby. Wolfsburg and Hertha Berlin, Hertha Berlin picking up a 2-1 away win. Big result that for Klinsmann and co. On with a 1-1 draw. Gladbach did beat Mainz 3-1, get back themselves in the contention for a possible Champions League push. Union Berlin did beat Augsburg 2-0. I actually went with Berlin on this one as well, 2-1 in the end. Freiburg, though, the wheels have definitely come off when they lose at home to bottom club Paderborn. 2-0 for Paderborn. I actually went with a 2-0 win for Freiburg. I gave them a benefit of the doubt, but I think that's them. I think they're toast, folks, for the grand scheme of things. One team that is not toast, that is Bayern München, or Bayern Munich. 5-0 wins over Schalke. I actually went with a 4-2 barnstormer myself for Munich or München on this one. Werder Bremen did lose to Hoffenheim 3-0. I went with a 2-1 win for Hoffenheim, and Leverkusen did pick up a victory against Fortuna Düsseldorf. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What does that make, folks? That makes I'm in the top banana, boys. Who's with me? Who's joining with me in the old top banana? We'll have a little look, shall we? Johnny talks Bundesliga. He's okay for himself, not too shabby. Yannick Bustler, top banana. Round of applause for your sunshine. Welcome to the gang. Ahmed 29, not too shabby. Cody Cahoe, not too bad indeed. And Mohamed Nuru, not too bad as well. You're in the top banana. Welcome to the gang. Okay, did okay. Ultra Omar Murat, not too shabby. Dortmund. Also, round of applause for you. You did absolute bits. We are QPR, not too shabby. Christian 04, not too bad. Omaji Monday, also not too bad indeed. And Naren Karanka, absolute stonker. Take it away. Take it to the cleaners, buddy. Come back next week and see how you can do next time around. Speaking of next time around, this is what the table currently looks like out in the Bundesliga. Leipzig lead the way by 1 point over Bayern. Borussia Mönchengladbach 2 points adrift in 3rd spot. Coming up right on the hot on the heels is 4th place. Borussia Dortmund 4 points adrift. Leverkusen not at the woodwork just yet, and Schalke also still competing. I think Hoffenheim are still in there as well. I think 8th downwards, they're all just mid-table obscurity at the moment. 7 tops, they've all got a chance for Champions League this season. So big few weeks up ahead. Speaking of big weeks, this one is a bit of a big week. Let's get going, folks, and have a little look at these random matches, folks. Is this correct? What was I looking at then? I was looking at the next week's fixtures. So there is a good chance for possibly Haaland to score a couple goals here. Looking at up against Union Berlin. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I think earlier in the season they beat them. We'll take a look at that game in just a second. Anyway, Hertha Berlin, Klinsmann's Berlin, up against Schalke. Now, the last 6 between two sides. 1 win for Berlin, 4 wins for Schalke, 1 draw along the way. They played in Schalke earlier in the season, back in August. It was a 3-0 win for Schalke the last time they played in Berlin. Was actually around about this time last season. It was a 2-2 draw. Goals coming from Marko Grujic and Vedad Ibisevic for Berlin. Knoplianka and Mark Utter getting the goals for Schalke. Bookmakers odds on this one takes place on Friday the 31st of January. 7-4 the win for Klinsmann's Berlin. 8-5 for Schalke. 23-10 would be the draw. Obviously coming into this, Schalke are in 6th spot, a win away from getting into the Champions League spot into 4th. Whereas Hertha Berlin are in 13th at the moment, a win away from going as high as 9th. That is knocking on the door for Europa League football. That would be a massive turnaround for Klinsmann and co on this bad boy. It's a tough old boot, this one. I like Schalke and I also like Berlin, so I'm going to give it a 1-1 draw. If it was on the flip side, I think Schalke would have taken the victory on this one as well. But moving forward onto Mainz up against Bayern. Obviously a monstrous game for both sides here. Mainz trying to get themselves a little bit further away from the drop zone. Bayern trying to get themselves back into Champions League or title winning territory. The last 6 between the two sides, 0 wins for Mainz, 5 wins for Bayern, 1 draw along the way. They played over in Mainz earlier in the season. It was a 6-1 win for Bayern with 6 different goal scorers. Pavard, Alaba, Perisic, Koeman, Lewandowski and Davies, with Jean-Paul Boutius getting the early goal for Mainz back in the 6th minute. So it was a bit of a nervy start. Bayern actually won the last 5 matches in the Bundesliga and kept a clean sheet in the last 3 heading into this. Bookmakers odds, they'll go 100% for Bayern on this one. It is 5-1 on for the away win, 6-1 is the draw, 12-1 is the home win in favour of Mainz. Obviously cannot go against Bayern, even though their manager's still up in the air. They've settled on the caretaker for the time being, but I think you watch it. Pochettino coming on in the summer. Moving on to the next one, what we got? We got Hoffenheim up against Bayer Leverkusen. This one's a beat of a belter, isn't it? Hoffenheim coming into this in 7th. Leverkusen are in 5th. It's actually 4 points separated. Two sides could only be 1 after this match if Hoffenheim were to be victorious. If they were to pick up a win and Schalke were to lose, they would swap places and hop into 6th spot. The last 6 though between two sides, 3 wins for Hoffenheim, 1 win for Leverkusen, 2 draws along the way. They played in Leverkusen earlier in the season. It was a 0-0 draw. The last time they played in Hoffenheim was a 4-1 win last season. That was around about March. Bafodel getting himself on the score sheet twice. Sven Bender with a big fat OG and Andrei Karabac scoring for Hoffenheim. On the flip side, the one and only goal for Leverkusen was Kevin Volland. Leverkusen actually won the last 3 matches in the Bundesliga, so they'll fancy their chances heading into this. Hoffenheim on the flip side won 3 at the past 4, so this smells like a draw if I'm honest with you. 9-4 is the home win, 11-10 is the away win, 27-10 is the draw, and I am actually going with the draw. It does smell like a draw to me when I look at those form books and all that kind of good stuff. I like it when my brain and my mouth sink into one and comes with the right stinking score. So that's what I'm banking on, the draw right there, folks. 2-2, which won't really benefit any of the two sides into this match week. Next up, we have Fortuna Düsseldorf up against Eintracht Frankfurt. Again, two sides. Düsseldorf definitely need a win there and down rock bottom. 1 win at the past 6 for them. Frankfurt on the flip side, back-to-back wins for them heading into this. They potentially could squeeze themselves into the Europa League discussion if they can get a couple more wins on the board. A win for Fortuna Düsseldorf that could rise to outside the drop zone. It would be a monstrous win if they were victorious. Frankfurt on the flip side won't go anywhere. They'll stay where they were. That's last 6 though between the two sides. 1 win for Düsseldorf, 4 wins for Frankfurt, 1 draw along the way. It's actually not been a pleasant reading for Düsseldorf in this fixture. The last 4 matches have gone in favour of Frankfurt. 4 wins on the spin, including a 7-1 win back in 2018 in Frankfurt. Goals from Luka Jovic, he got himself 5. Sebastian Haller got himself 2. Those 2 players no longer with the club. Let's take a look at the last games in Düsseldorf. Actually, it's been 1 win for Düsseldorf, 1 win for Frankfurt, 1 draw along the way. Let's go back to 2012. Düsseldorf actually failed to score in 5 of the last 6 matches, and also lost 5 of the last 6 matches. Period in the Bundesliga. The bookmakers odds 12-5 for the home win, 11-10 the away win, 13-5 the draw. I smell a victory here, folks. I do smell a victory. It comes every now and again, a surprise result. Even though it's at home, that's what's giving it to me. I'm not convinced with Frankfurt right now, and I'm not sold on Düsseldorf going down. I think there are still worse teams in this division, including Paderborn, including Mainz, possibly even Augsburg, to get sucked into that relegation fight. So I'm a believer that Düsseldorf will get themselves out of it. Oh yes, watch and listen. Next up we have Augsburg up against Werder Bremen. 2 teams are also in the possible relegation battle. Augsburg at the moment a little bit more comfortable than Werder Bremen. Werder Bremen sit in that playoff spot at the moment. And if the season was to end today, they'll be duking it out with a team from the Zweite Bundesliga to see if they would stick around. They got 17 points on the board. A win this weekend against Augsburg could see them rise to 14th. The wins for Augsburg in 12th could see them go as high as 9th. 9th, and that is not relegation battle at all. So what am I thinking? What am I smoking, folks? The last 6, though, between two sides: 2 wins for Augsburg, 4 wins for Werder Bremen. It's actually 4 wins on the spin for Werder Bremen heading into this. Both two games in Bremen and 2 games in Augsburg. The last time they played in Augsburg was back in 2018. It was a 3-2 win for Werder Bremen. Max Kruse with a goal. Maximilian Eckstein as well. David Klaassen for Werder Bremen. Philip Max and Zhao Chao Klu, scoring for Augsburg. They did play earlier in the season over in Bremen. It was a 3-2 win with Osako Sargent getting on the score sheet for Werder Bremen. Vargas with the brace for Augsburg. Liechtenstein getting himself sent off on this occasion. Bookmakers odds on this one. What do we see on this guy? 11-10 for Augsburg. 23-10 is the away win. 23-10 is also 27-10 is the draw. It is a tough old boot, this one, but I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Augsburg. That'll keep Werder Bremen under pressure as the season really hits up. Next up, speaking of somebody that's on form, it is Haaland up against, it's not just Haaland, but Dortmund up against Union Berlin. The last 4 encounters between two sides: 3 wins for Dortmund, 1 win for Berlin. That win for Berlin was earlier in the season in Berlin. It's a 3-1 win for the now visitors. Paco Alcazar getting the goal for Dortmund. Marius Butler getting himself a brace, and Sebastian Andersson scoring as well. Dortmund have actually scored at least 2 goals in their 25 of the last 26 home matches, and they're actually undefeated in their last 10 matches at home as well. Bookmakers odds on this one: they'll go for Dortmund. 4-1 on, 11-2 is the draw, 10-1 is the away win. Obviously Dortmund find themselves in 4th spot. A win could see them rise to 2nd. Meanwhile, Union Berlin have been a surprise package so far: 23 points on the board. Just the 1 win out of the past 5 for them, but a win could see them go into the top 10, up to 9th from 11th. Heading into this, but you cannot see anything against Dortmund. I'm going big. I'm going to give Haaland a couple of goals on this one as well. 4-1 win over Union. Get a bit of revenge. Next up, my boys, they faced a difficult task up against Leipzig. So it's first place up against third place. 2 points separated two sides. Actually, Leipzig coming into this 2 wins at the past 4. Same form as Mönchengladbach. 2 wins at the past 4 as well. I think Leipzig have better form over the last 6 games. They actually won 4 of the past 6. Whereas Mönchengladbach just the 3 out of the past 6. Heading into this, though, it's actually 5 wins at the past 6 for Leipzig, 0 wins for Mönchengladbach, 1 draw along the way. That draw was all the way back in 2017 in Leipzig. It was a 2-2 draw with the goals coming from Timo Werner and Jean-Kevin Augustin, who's now a Leeds player. That's right, Torgan Hazard and Lars Stindl getting the goals for Mönchengladbach back in the day. They did play earlier in the season in Mönchengladbach. It was a 3-1 win for Leipzig. Werner with a hat-trick, Rio Bello scoring for Mönchengladbach. Leipzig have actually won their last 5 home matches. And I've scored 3 goals in the last 5 matches as well. Don't fancy this one as well for my boys. Bookmakers odds on this one: 52 to 100 on for Leipzig. 80 to 5 is the draw. 24 to 5 is the away one. Win this one, Mönchengladbach, and I realistically think you've got a shot at the title, not just Champions League title. But I'm going to give it to Leipzig. 3-1. Come on then, Mönchengladbach. Upset the apple cart and pick up the victory in the end. Next up, we have Köln up against Freiburg. The last 6 between the two sides: 4 wins for Freiburg, 2 wins for Köln, 0 draws along the way. They played in Freiburg earlier in the season. It was a 2-1 win for Köln. Goals from Anthony Modeste, still ex-Rover, still banging the goals in for Köln. Skiri getting the other goal for Köln, and Rafael Sikatos getting himself a big fat OG on the occasion. Last time they played in Köln, it was a 7-goal barnstormer back in 2017 with Niels Petersen, now German international, going to get himself a hat-trick, and Yannick Havana getting the 4th goal for Freiburg. Lukas Klüntner, Suhu Garassi, and a Caleb Stanko own goal for Köln back in the day. Köln have actually won the last 3 home matches in the Bundesliga, so form for them is looking decent. Actually, they've won 4 of the past 5 games, just losing the 1. Bookmakers odds: 11 to 10 for the home victory, 5 to 2 is the draw, and also 5 to 2 is the away win. I'm going with a 1-1 draw. Obviously, the wheels have come off for Freiburg. They are tumbling down the division. Obviously, a fantastic start, but they're now in 8th spot. But a win could see them rise just 1 spot to 7th. Köln on the flip side are in 14th, and a win for them could see them rise to 11th. Goal difference depending, but I'm going to go with a big fat 1-1 draw, which won't benefit any side in this regard. I think Köln looking for a win to get themselves away from that drop zone, and a win for Freiburg trying to get themselves back into Europa League discussion. Wrapping up the weekend, it'll be Paderborn up against Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg in 10th spot, just a 1 win at the past 6 for them, 3 defeats on the spin. Paderborn on the flip side, 3 wins at the past 6. Not looking pretty decent at the moment. A win though for Paderborn could get them out of their drop zone. A win for Wolfsburg could see them rise a couple of spots into the top, to 9th spot in the table. Last 6 between two sides, or the last 5, should I say. 1 win for Paderborn, 2 wins for Wolfsburg, 2 draws along the way. They played in Wolfsburg earlier in the season. It was a 1-1 draw. The last time they played in Paderborn was a 3-1 win for Wolfsburg. Tim Klose and Bastos getting the goals for Wolfsburg. Lucas Rupp. That was back in 2015. Wolfsburg actually lost their last 3 away matches and conceded 2 goals in those last 3 matches as well. So not fancying them. Bookmakers 29-10 for Paderborn, 29-10 is the draw as well. 70-20 is the away one. Bookmakers going Wolfsburg quite heavily. There might be a bit of money on this one, but I'm going to go with the bookmakers as well with a 2-1 win for Wolfsburg. But if I was a betting man, I'd probably put 10 euros, 10 Deutschmarks on a Paderborn victory just to get a little bit of a return on it. Then let's just say between you and I that these results come on in. And I'm victorious with my predictions. This is what the table would look like. Leipzig would top the table. München would be in 2nd. Dortmund 3rd. Mönchengladbach down to 4th. Leverkusen 5th. And Schalke into 6th. Down the bottom would be Paderborn, Werder Bremen going down. And for Düsseldorf heading into the playoff. But that's just my predictions, boys. Get your own in. Nice and early down below. Yes, the lighting in this studio is a bit wank at the moment. But we'll get a big old light coming in on the weekend. So hopefully next weekend will be a bit more bright, and maybe Borussia Dortmund and Bayern will be a little bit more bright. Speaking of those bad boys, yeah, that's it, folks. That's all I've got for you. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that thumbs up. If you're new, smash and subscribe. New videos every single day on the channel, whether it's FIFA, predictions, Euro 2020, Blackburn, whatever we got it all here under one roof. Also, check out the links in the description, links to my other stuff. Twitter, Facebook, Patreon. Become a Patreon. That's what your New Year's resolution should be. Become a Patreon for your creators. Give us a bit of a rocket up our arse to kick forward the content. Anyway, folks, that's all I've got for you. I'll see you all next time around. Smash the thumbs up, smash the subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.